This is a commentary, not an insight. Something I want to take off my chest. Is one corona enough? Is corona an lost opportunity, missed opportunity? That's my commentary. Over decades, society has been seeking relentlessly economic growth to the detriment to the environment and our quality of life. Standard of living has gone up, granted, but quality of life has gone down. Stress, pollution, overcrowding, alienation, all results of a mad dash for materialistic assets. It is prime time for developed countries, already developed countries, for a paradigm shift from more is better to better is more. We don't need more, we need better. Better quality of life, less crime, better education, better health systems, better use of leisure time, stronger families, less wars, rather than more gadgets and more material choices. But such a change requires that all the stakeholders that are necessary for making the change happen have the interest to support the change. The political systems might have to change. National self-interest have to change. The business model has to change. Education systems, national borders and what they mean. We need an event that will cause all stakeholders to cooperate and stop the mad dash to destruction. We need an event that will mobilize the world, an event that will cause us to pause, review where we are, and develop a cooperating forum of global dimensions, because it requires global cooperation for the change to happen. To recognize on our own skin, we have to feel it, or to feel our global interdependency so that we can make the global compelling change happen. It should cause us to cooperate across national borders, to make us realize the value of relationships, of love for each other, for the environment, for the animals we share the globe with, to appreciate the value of life and health more than the size of our balance sheet. Is a corona that event? It showed sign. It could have been. People started playing music to each other from balconies. They started doing choir singing globally through Zoom. Started calling friends that they didn't call for God knows how long. Recognize the beauty of a family by being sequestered in one place together. And cars not being on the road all at once, the sky was clean. It could have been, but I don't think so. Here is why. How do you boil a frog? By the way, you don't want to and you shouldn't, but it's an experiment. How do you boil a frog? If you put it into boiling water, it will jump right out. If you put it in a room temperature water and turn the heat a little bit, it will adapt. Then you turn it a little bit more, it will adapt. Then you turn it even more, it adapts, until it's boiled. And that's what I think is happening with Corona over time. Like the frog, people are getting used to the Corona, to the fatalities and the number of those sick. When one person dies, it's a tragedy. When 1 million die, it's a statistic. So corona fatalities are becoming a statistic, the new normal. And what happens? The social distancing is not applied religiously anymore. Stores are slowly being opened. They're going back. The change is not happening. How does this accommodation happen? How come people are getting used to? How come people reject obvious scientific information that social distancing should be maintained longer? My insight is that people do not accumulate information value-free and then based on impartial analysis of the information make a decision. First, people decide based on past experiences, likes, dislikes, and then seek information that support the decision they already made and reject information that defies their decision. Sometimes they do change their mind, but it's an uphill battle. And with some people, it's climbing the Everest. Forget it. In the case of the corona, it was too uncomfortable. And it was impacting the economy. People have not from what to live. So, people wanted out. And now they're looking for information that supports the decision they already made. Oh, corona is not so terrible. Do you know how many people died from influenza? Do you know how many people died from cancer, from heart attacks? So, why are we making such a big deal of the corona? The worst it is a flu, so you will be sick for a few days. And some will die. Well, people have to die. What the big deal? Does it mean that this pandemic will kill us all? Because we are not social distancing, we are going back to the normal way. I don't think so. Many will die. But vaccine will be developed. A vaccine will be developed. But what happened? We missed the opportunity to change the direction we are going, to change our behavior. Corona is a missed opportunity to make the strategic changes humanity needs to survive. If people are not making the sacrifice to change how far they walk or sit from each other, why would they make the big strategic necessary changes needed to protect the environment? Apparently we need another, even worse crisis. Maybe it's another pandemic. And if so, it will be soon. Just notice that the time interval between one epidemic and the other is getting shorter and shorter. So it will happen in our lifetime. And it will be worse and worse and worse. Until the human race finally gets it, that if we continue our behavior as is, destroying the world we live in, like the frog, yes, like the frog, we will boil ourselves to death. Just thinking. Ichak, Adizes.